We have two letters in your packets, and if I could get you to focus on the one under the topic line there, it says debt levels, and it comes with a one-page handout in the back.
May 17th letter.
It is dated May 17th, correct? If you recall, the last time I was here, I talked to you about concerns about debt levels of the city. This is an attempt to illustrate those concerns. You'd asked me to do some analysis, and that's what this is. After I take you through this, I'm going to talk to you about recommendations which are spelled out in the letter. I will say that I've backed off those recommendations somewhat in light of the new information on your FEMA funding as it relates to the levy certification, which I'll also talk about. But anyways, going just top to bottom here, even though the city audit was not fully complete at the time, I was able to get some information from Tom Wente and Smith Schaefer. We've got our total outstanding debt of the city at the end of the year last year. We are able to take out the electrical related debt in terms of your credit rating review of outstanding debt. You're going to make a bunch of principal payments this year in 2011. And as you know, we have a wastewater treatment plant project and potentially this 2011 street improvement project. We add that back in. So we have a total of $9.2 million of outstanding debt if those two projects are undertaken and issued. So divided by our estimated population, you can see we're exceeding 5,000 debt per capita. Down below where it says standard and poor debt ratio categories, I show you what they look at in terms of debt per capita, and that would put you in the high category. Now, continuing down from the end of the year 2011, in 2012 we would continue to make those principal payments, and if there's a small increase in the population, we'd see the estimated debt per capita about $4,800. And the capital improvement plan that we did back in 2009 had estimated about just under 4,600, so we're pretty close. So what this means is that if we do the 2011 street project this year as opposed to next year when it was originally identified under previous council during the 2009 capital financial planning process, it means for 1 year you would exceed your own benchmark debt roughly at $4,500 per head. Going further down, just looking at the general fund balance, I note this just to continue to keep the council alert to your financial status. If you look at the general fund balance at the end of each year compared to the expenditures of that year, most cities target a 50% or more fund balance. You're well above that. In fact, the state auditor's office would tell you you are higher than their recommended amount of 65% or less. I'm with you, I chuckle. But my point is, while the general fund balance is healthy, you'll see that it has kind of dipped a little bit as a percentage. Nothing to concern us yet, but hopefully that trend won't continue, of course. So in the letter itself, I made the recommendation that I felt like the city ought to consider moving forward with the 2011 project. I'm going to not suggest that you don't, but I am going to back off of that wording a little bit in light of the levy certification. But the points I raised in the letter was, number one, is you had some pretty decent bids come in. 2, interest rates are low. 3, I'm not familiar with these streets, but I understand they're in pretty rough shape and they're high priority. And then finally, there could be some FEMA money as reimbursement. And so with all those factors considered, I felt like perhaps maybe we should suck it up for that extra year. It could result in a downgrade. I'm not saying it would, but it could result in a downgrade in your credit rating. Right now you're A+ stable, and I don't see us leaving the A range, whether that be A- or A, I don't know. So there would be a minor bump in an interest rate if that were to occur, but nothing drastic. Now the levy certification, understanding that roughly half of it is to be financed through state bonding, and then potentially you were pursuing this $450,000 to offset the balance. that would have meant just a small piece left. If we need to fully fund 50% of the project, those debt per capita numbers, you could go ahead and raise anywhere between $350 and $400 a head. So, why don't I stop there and take questions before I continue?
The information that you got from Mr. Winfrey didn't give you any idea what the 2011 general fund balances are?
No, because that won't be reported until the end of the year.
The audit, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so the audit 2010, okay.
Yep. So please don't misunderstand me. That is a very healthy general fund balance. You should be proud of that. I just noticed that it looked like a downward trend, just bleeding a little bit. And you might want to keep that in mind as you continue to, when you do your budgeting for upcoming years.
You have a recommendation as well from me, Your Honor, and council members, about this project. And in light of the levy, it's important for your consideration that you look at the levy project. It looks like the rest of the 43 project, which is going to mean for the city to dig the road up and replace a water main and a sewer trunk line in the main road out here. We've got that project as well. Then we've got the 2011 project. It's rather unfortunate series of events, especially with not being able to use that money as we thought for the levy. It's really hard to recommend turning your back on potentially FEMA supported and a lower than the engineer's estimated bid, plus the money that we put into the engineer's work to get that bid. The concern is that, and it's not that we won't be able to figure out another way to do this or to stagger these projects, but it could impact our ability. If we go over 6,000, what do you think per capita? We're going to get down to the B range. That's going to be
The next bump down is triple B. Now that's still considered investment grade, and the customer base for potential underwriters and such would still be the same. However, in light of the financial crisis, all buyers are pointing towards higher grade debt, the A or higher. So when we get into that triple B range, you're really not doing much better than unrated debt. In which case, if we felt like we were going to be there, we would just not even rate an issue. We would just go unrated into the market. Maybe even negotiate the sale directly as opposed to competitive. So yeah, if you were to take on all of these things and get into that $6,000–7,000 debt per capita, that would really raise some eyebrows.
It may be important to have Dean come up and actually talk about the staging of these projects.
I think that's a good idea. I was just thinking about that. Do you care to come up with this?
I just think it's important to look and see if any of these can be staggered differently so that we can take advantage of some of the principal payments that we're going to be making throughout the years.
Because we got two more, we got 43 from bridge to bridge, all right?
Right, that's the next area we'd be looking at as far as from bridge to bridge essentially.
What's the, and because that's 43, and some of that cost will be taken care of by DOT?
Right. I mean, we're preparing a submittal to MnDOT to get on their municipal agreement program for their cost share. That's something that we need to provide by July 1st. But there's some different areas where we're looking at funding for TH43. One of which is considering the water in TH43 is very old and bad, in bad condition. We're applying with the Department of Health, kind of the same as we did the Schedule A project for low interest loans through PFA for the water main. And then also the cost share with MnDOT, and then also FEMA funds areas of FEMA damage. So, I mean, there's several different resources of funding.
You've given that information before. I don't have it in front of me. 43, that's the next one. Is there one more beyond that?
Kind of where we, where we looked at was, because 2013 was kind of the deadline for FEMA money.